I'm back with another YouTube video, and today we're going to be learning how to do 3D flowers. I already have my practice hand tipped and shaped. I will link the tips I use below, but they are the easy basket tips from Amazon. If you want to know how I shaped them, the video will be linked above for the tutorial. So first I will be making these nails ombre using this pretty yellow color. It's the number 100 by Valentino, and I'm just lightly bringing the acrylic down. Notice how I continuously wipe the sides of the nail and pat the tip of the nail. This is to make sure my application is near perfect so the end foul won't have to be so much. This will help you save a lot of product and improve your overall time. To ombre these nails, I'm using Cover Beige by Mia Secret, and I like to have my beads a bit runny just so it can blend into the other color well. I also like to use multiple beads so that we don't ruin the first ombre that we created with the first bead. I have a more detailed video on how to ombre for beginners. It's in my beginner nail tech playlist that will be above. Don't forget, when applying your cuticle bead, you want to place it below the cuticle and push it up towards the cuticle. Don't have the bead too runny or it'll flood it, and don't have it too dry or it won't settle right. I did notice after the fact that my nail kept getting away of the camera, so it was out of focus sometimes, so bear with me. It's not a lot, but it does happen. But here I am encapsulating this ombre because we don't want to foul off the nice blend that we got with the acrylic, so we're going to cover it in clear. And when encapsulating your nail, you want to make sure that you don't cause any air bubbles, or you don't want to manipulate the bead too much. And I also, since this is a practice set, I didn't really focus on like an apex or anything. I just wanted to cover the nail, so that's what I did. Now I'm just going to repeat the previous steps I just did on the last nail onto this nail, making sure that I continuously wipe my sidewalls and the tip of the nail to keep that shape. I forgot to mention that the brush I'm using is this alpha brush in the number 10 size. Again, with encapsulating, make sure that you let gravity do most of the work for you. As you can see, I'm just wiping the sides and then lightly patting the acrylic towards the bottom just to cover the rest. Moving along to the next process of this tutorial, I am going to be shaping the sides of the nail with this 80/80 grit Panafal from Amazon, and I'm only just going to be shaping the sides and the tip because application was good enough to where I didn't have to refiled the surface of the nail. Like there wasn't no lumps or bumps, so I just filed the sides, and then I'm going to be buffing the surface. Getting into the nail art, we're going to be using this Pana 3D acrylic brush in the size 4. Notice how many times I wipe my brush on the side of my dish to pick up the size bead that I need. We're going to be starting with the yellow color, and we're going to get a small bead of that and place it on the nail and make sure it stays kind of round. You can poke at it just to make sure it stays into place. Next, I'm going to be grabbing a slightly bigger bead. So notice again how many times I tap my brush on the side of my dish. So we're going to pick up a slightly bigger bead and place it right next to the first bead, and we're going to lightly push into that bead with the side of the acrylic brush, not the flat side, but kind of the side that's pointing. I'm just going to be lightly flattening that bead into like a petal shape and using that side of the brush to get like the indentations of the petals. Again, I'm going to be grabbing another slightly bigger bead and placing that right next to the first bead and flattening out that bead into a petal shape. It's better if you watch because it's kind of hard to explain. If your petals aren't looking like petals and just looking like flat circles, you can also use the end of your brush to kind of shape the end of that bead into the petal shape. So I'm going to be doing another flower, a slightly bigger one. So I noticed I didn't have enough acrylic, so I put another bead on top of that bead and just made a bigger bead. And doing the same thing as before, picking up a slightly bigger bead than the first, placing it next to it and lightly flattening it out with the side of the brush. For this petal, I decided to go a little bigger, so you just grab a bigger bead of acrylic and do the same thing as before, taking the side of the acrylic brush and flattening it out into the shape of the petal. I'm going to be doing one last flower on this nail, doing the same thing as before. Okay, so for this flower, it's going to be slightly different. I'm taking a bigger size bead of the yellow acrylic than the other ones, and I'm going to be placing it right on the middle but side of the nail. And then I'm going to be getting a bigger size bead, but picking it up in a way that is flat on the brush, so when you put it down, it's kind of already in an oval type shape. First, I flatten out the bead like you would with the other ones, but then I'm going to be pushing in on the sides to create that different type of petal. And you want to make sure you don't really wipe, but you just pat or push into the side to make that curve. Again, I'm going to be placing down that oval sized bead and flattening it out slightly, and then using the sides of my brush to push in the sides to create that point. If the bead isn't big enough or long enough, just continue to flatten it out slightly and it'll create the shape you want. The last part of this flower is going to be just like the other ones, getting a smaller bead of acrylic, putting it down and flattening it out with the side of the acrylic brush. As we come to the end of this video, I just want to say, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to learn next. Bye.